playoffs. 3 touchdowns, almost 130 rushing yards, and another clutch victory. This is my favorite tweet from Tony at Front Office NFL. Jayden has 5 passing touchdowns in the final 30 seconds or overtime, which is 2 more than any other QB, rookie or veteran, in a single season since at least 1970. Are we ready to call Daniels a superstar?
No, yes. And this is where I think CJ Stroud gets held against him to a degree. You know what I mean? Like I think Jayden's been unbelievable. My nervousness about his frailness remains, and yesterday I think we saw the good and the bad of his kind of body composition. The good was when it looked like, did he just blow every ligament in his knee? And it's like, no, he's fine. The bad was late in the game when he was running the goal line, it was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And he got crushed. Now he was tough enough to fight through it, so that remains. But I don't think that he's having a more impressive year than CJ did last year, and CJ's not a superstar yet. The reason I wanted to talk about this, though, really, Brew, was, again, you got to follow Wilds on Twitter, because Wilds, as always, saves his spiciest takes for Twitter and then immediately retreats. And so Wilds sent this tweet during the game.
No.
The Bears are in the playoffs with Jayden Daniels.
Bro,
it's true.
Hold on. Before Brew replies, let's see Wild replies. Because then some people wrote to him, the Commanders will be in the playoffs with Caleb Williams. And Wilds folds his hand immediately.
Full my hand.
Says fair.
I said fair. That's a fair take.
Then somebody writes, what about the Bears coaches? The Bears would be in the playoffs with Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury. And Wilds writes, fair enough.
Again, I felt like,
see,
I tweeted it, and it was like, it started as a Jayden Daniels compliment.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did. I watched Jayden Daniels. I'm like, this guy's awesome. He would be even great on the Bears.
What?
And then I realized, I'm like,
why didn't you write the Patriots?
You were ripping
because he wouldn't. Because the Patriots have the worst roster in the NFL.
Welcome to the party, pal. Yeah, that's what Brew and I were trying to tell you in the offseason.
Sorry, but he's amazing. And I'm just saying it's fair. No one wants to do hey, did the Bears take the wrong quarterback?
No, people want to do that all the time.
Okay, then.
But we haven't done it because no one on the show wants to say it, but it sounds like you want to say it.
Well, I don't know. Last year, the Commanders won 4 games.
Well, I've said I would take Jayden, like, if we did it over. I'm not ripping the Bears because at the time I would have taken Caleb, but I would take Jayden now. And I agree with your first tweet. I think they're in the playoffs with Jayden Daniels.
Thank you.
Bears.
So I don't.
And I don't think the Redskins necessarily are with Caleb. I mean, Jayden's been, and I agree with you, he's not a superstar yet. Because, like you said, C.J. Stroud, heck, Mac Jones was good. I mean, we know he wasn't a real Pro Bowler, but he was a Pro Bowler. Yes. Kyler Murray made 2 Pro Bowls his second, third year. Like, we do have to wait and give it a little time. I think he's a budding star. And everything he needs to be a superstar, I see in him, from the intangibles to the physical attributes and things like that. Oh. But I do think the Bears would be in with him.
So here's where I disagree.
Everything he's shown.
I think it's fair to not include Michael Penix in any of this yet because he's played 2 games.
Sure.
We have 4 rookie quarterbacks. 2 are playing for teams with coaches that have either been to or won a Super Bowl and have either good in Washington or great in Denver offensive lines. And both those quarterbacks are having awesome seasons. 2 are playing for teams whose offensive lines have been a total disaster and whose coaching staffs are either fired already entirely or probably will be. And those guys have struggled immensely.
All right, I'm going to go off. I thought Dan Quinn wasn't that good of a head coach. All right, I thought he was a failed head coach. And he's just a defensive head coach. I thought, according to Nick, Wright, Cliff Kingsbury is actually not that good of a coordinator and only is good in September. And then after September, his quarterbacks go down. I thought he was the problem for Kyler Murray, and that's why he got fired. But now when we want to downplay Jayden Daniels, we want to elevate these other coaches when all of these things can be true. Because of C.J. Stroud's last season, Jayden Daniels isn't great or a superstar right now. What are you talking about? He has put the Commanders on his back. He is the reason why they are winning these games. CJ Stroud was absolutely a massive reason for what happened with the Texans. Undeniable. But not what Jayden Daniels is doing. Jayden Daniels, why the Commanders beat the Eagles last 2 games ago, and this last game against the Falcons was because of one 1,000%, not even slightly, well, this, that. No, 100% Jayden Daniels. Is Cliff Kingsbury doing an amazing job of setting up Jayden Daniels for success? No question about it. I praised Cliff Kingsbury from the jump. Before he even had Jayden, I was like, this is going to work. And I made all these videos saying why Cliff Kingsbury wasn't the problem with Arizona and is actually a good, coordinator and will most likely get a head coaching job sooner rather than later. But Jayden Daniels off script has been massive. Massive. His ability to pick up first downs with his legs, his elusiveness, his throws on the run, him moving around in the pocket, out of the pocket. I mean, like, he's been doing unbelievable things that have nothing to do with Dan Quinn or Cliff Kingsbury. And it's so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's so ridiculous that Nick Wright has the audacity to say this right now. When does he ever give any credit to Andy Reid, to Patrick Mahomes' superstardom or his special? Is never, 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 never. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Jayden Daniels isn't a superstar because of CJ Stroud and because of Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury? What are we talking about? What are we talking about right now? This is insanity. This is true insanity. Jayden Daniels is making Zach Ertz look like a GOAT tight end again. Looking like he's the Philadelphia Eagles' Zach Ertz. Okay, he's got McLaurin. That's awesome. Is that Tyreek Hill? No. Is that Jamar Chase? No. Is that A.J. Brown? No. Like, what? And he is the run game, too. He has to do everything. He's literally doing everything. That's not a great O-line. He's making it better. Like, this is insane. Truly insane. You really want to play this year, last year CJ Stroud game? And I'm a huge CJ Stroud fan. This is this season, 2024. Jayden Daniels, PFF. Let's just use the pure, unadulterated stats because I've already talked about the film just says it, okay? Just watch the games and see what CJ Stroud needs to do in any given game, or what Jayden Daniels has to do in any given game, and that's the answer. But let's just use pure stats then. Pure ratings, let's use PFF. He's got a 90.1. Just a few points from being third. Okay? He's top 5 under Herbert, Allen, Burrow, Jackson. That's for his total offensive rating. And then if we just do passing, he's top 4. He's at 84. And now, obviously, if we do run, we know he's going to be up there as well. He's 87, so top 5. Okay? So that alone, all right, is right there just like that. Now, let's go to 2023. CJ Stroud's great year. CJ Stroud was 11th. 11th. Okay? That's what CJ Stroud was. 11th. His offensive rating was 83. Jayden Daniels was 90. His passing rating, and again, the PFF passing rating, right? Not passer rating or anything like that. Is 79.6 in 2023. Jayden Daniels, 84.1. Jayden Daniels' run was 87, whereas CJ Stroud's was 76.3. So just stop. Just stop. Can we just stop? Like, just stop. It's like unbelievable the lengths we do to kind of reduce what these guys are doing. Jayden Daniels, 69.4% completion percentage. What was CJ Stroud? CJ Stroud was 63.4% completion percentage. If you want to give him those yards, because he got 4,100 yards, but what he's done with his legs has been monumental, has been awesome, has been fantastic, has added a whole different layer to this offense. And again, what CJ Stroud did last season was awesome. So I'm not trying to downplay him. I'm not even trying to necessarily make the argument that Jayden Daniels is having a better season. Like, I know I laid out that argument, but that's not the argument, honestly. The argument is that Jayden Daniels is clearly a superstar. is clearly balling, is already a top quarterback in the NFL, and is an actual MVP candidate, considering what he's gotten the Commanders to be able to do. And what this team looks like right now. And how he's been able to win these games. By Jayden Daniels' true heroics. It's not just coming from behind. Lots of people can come from behind. Isn't like Derek Carr the leading quarterback in the last decade of come from behind wins or something? It's more than that. It's how you do it. How you get there. Who's around you? Who's on your team? Who's calling the plays? Like it's a combination of all of these things. And doesn't Jayden Daniels have like the best fourth quarter stats of like all quarterback, like throughout the whole season? He's got like the best of anyone in the NFL. I mean, what he's doing is just legendary. It's been amazing. It's been awesome. So we want to now give weight to Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn, which again, in all fairness, they do deserve that weight. They do deserve credit. But then give Andy Reid the credit for Patrick Mahomes. Like, what are we talking about here, man? What are we talking about? This is insanity. This is true insanity. Then give Josh Allen the benefit of the doubt. Lamar Jackson the benefit of the doubt. You want to bring up Mac Jones? Mac Jones doesn't deserve to be in this conversation. What are we saying right now? What is the conversation? We know without a shadow of a doubt, if Caleb Williams was having this year, Nick Wright would be saying that he is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. I trust him more than Lamar Jackson. He's better than Joe Burrow. We know it. We know it. We know it. And you know what? Jayden Daniels would have the Chicago Bears in contention. You know why? One, the Commanders would now fall off because they're certainly not in playoff contention. If you want to say if Caleb went there, yes, Caleb would be significantly better with the Commanders with Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn. I do believe that. But Jayden Daniels, his skill set is good enough to overcome some of the issues that the Bears have. Specifically because of his usage and his experience with his legs. And his already high level accuracy. I have defended Caleb Williams every step of the way. Caleb Williams, without a doubt, would be a significantly better player if he was on a different team. And if he had a different coaching staff and different team in general, he could be in the playoffs as well. I fully believe that. But I also fully believe that Jayden Daniels is playing fundamentally better football right now, regardless of the situation. It's not to say that's the way it's going to continue. Caleb Williams could absolutely catch up and surpass Jayden Daniels. I'm not really interested in trying to figure out who's going to have the better career right now. I just don't care about that conversation. I've given Caleb grace every step of the way. Where if Jayden Daniels got, drafted to the Panthers or the Chicago Bears himself, and if he was struggling, I'd give him all the grace as well. I totally would. But that's why you kind of have to just really kind of look in what you're seeing. You have to try to look at and be like, when is this team putting him in a position to succeed? And when is he just succeeding? When is this guy finding a way? You see Jayden Daniels find a way more regularly, a high level of regularity, more than Caleb Williams. And that's what it comes down to. If you have to make that decision right now, like that's what it gets boiled down to. That's why you can't look at the numbers. You can't look at the wins and losses because that does come down to players, coaching staff, game plan, etc. So that's why you kind of like remove yourself. Who looks more in control? Who looks more poised? Who looks like they're ready to make a play? Who do you feel more nervous if you're the this is my favorite thing. If you're the opposing fan base and you're watching, who are you more nervous to have the ball, Caleb or Jayden? You do not like when the ball is in Jayden Daniels' hands. You do not like that. When Jayden Daniels had the ball to start overtime, you know what every single Atlanta Falcons fans felt? Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Not like, oh, great, we'll be able to stop them, then we can kick a field goal and we win. It's, oh, man. They're going to march down the field and score a touchdown, aren't they? And what did they do? March down the field and scored a touchdown because of Jayden Daniels' ability to stretch plays, buy time, use his legs, break the rookie record for most rushing yards, and throw a beautiful pass to Zach Ertz a tight end that for the most part people only want at this point of his career because of his veteran leadership and, you know, the fact that he won a Super Bowl, so he understands. He can bring that culture. He can bring that maturity to a locker room. There wasn't exactly a bidding war for Zach Ertz, and yet Zach Ertz is balling right now. Like I said, Zach Ertz is playing like he's 27, winning a Super Bowl with the Eagles. That's what he's looking like right now. Whew. We got through that one, guys. We got through that one. We got through it. Chaos, madness, insanity. But those are just my thoughts. What do you guys all think? Are you ready to call Jayden Daniels a superstar? I know I am. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.